Hello, and welcome to Destined to Evolve Wellness. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I would like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. They are one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. And President Sean Rabinowitz is going to get me a Tesla any day now. I'm looking very forward to that. We have Green Street Trust International. They're out of West Palm Beach, Florida, owned and operated by former UConn football player Ronell Jump. They have a variety of services, but they specialize in putting together tax plans for businesses. They will save you money, or in some cases, even get you a nice big fat return. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com and Renault will sit down with you and you will get a free consultation. We also have Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm. If you suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, if a construction beam hit you at a site, if your mother-in-law tried to run you over with her car, the Finch firm is for you. For the last 8 years, Pete has won legal battles all over the state of Connecticut, and he will go to war for you to make sure you get every dollar you deserve in compensation. So if you've ever dealt with any of those issues, make sure you go to the Finch firm. And the website literally is thefinchfirm.com. You can schedule, again, a free consultation with him, and he will do as much as he can for you. And like I said, he is not shy to fight insurance companies, and he will go to war. We have Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. Andre trains boys and girls of all ages, of all sports, and he will do whatever he can to make you better. He will help you reach your potential. And he just started an athletic development program where he will take you with whatever sport you're interested in and work with you from the ground up and develop you specifically for that sport. So again, you reach your potential and you have an opportunity to be at your best and possibly go to college, get a scholarship. Andre has sent kids to different schools all over the country, boys and girls on scholarships. He has a 5,000 square foot state of the art facility. It's absolutely incredible and beautiful. If you want to be the best, go work with Andre, and especially if you're in Hartford. And the website is dynamichumanperformance.com. And we also have Julius Williams. Julius Williams runs the Trench Mob. The Trench Mob is located in Decatur, Georgia. They train offensive and defensive linemen. I have done the show with him now for a month, and we watch film on his players. I can honestly say I have not seen better offensive and defensive linemen in my life, and it's very hard to believe that they're even in high school. That's shocking enough. They go to camps every weekend all over the country, and they compete in what's called a 5v5 tournament. Basically, the offensive and defensive linemen go one-on-one for, I think, 6 rounds. And at the end of the 6 rounds, they declare a winner and you go home. It really is efficient. It ends within a couple hours, and it teaches guys how to be better. You can always do drill work, but the best way to improve, especially in football, is by playing. And that's what he focuses on. That's what he does. He has an outstanding team. Every coach that works with him either played professionally or played at the college level, just like Julius did. Julius played several years with the Carolina Panthers. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and he really is going out of his way because he wants to help young men succeed. So Decatur, Georgia, it's battleofthetrenches.com. Sign up, work with Julius. Their next camp is April 6th. They have camps running all the way through till June. So you have plenty of time to get better. And now for the lady of the hour, um, the Olympian herself, Bethany Hart Gary,
Yeah.
who is also a health and fitness coach, a big believer in health and wellness. She has her own business, Destined to Evolve Wellness, and she is going to be opening a new business and running two of them simultaneously. BFT, Franklin Village,
Yep.
Body Fit Training.
Coming
So
soon. Coming soon.
coming soon. It's crazy. It's right around the corner.
Oh man,
Right
it's
around the
been
corner.
such a process. It's funny
Yes.
when you've never opened a business, specifically probably brick and mortar, also when you're dealing with landlords and
Yes.
permits and all that kind of stuff, you really have no idea what goes on behind the scenes.
No, you don't. You
Right?
don't.
Securing loans, like coordinating all the vendors, with equipment and install and all the things. It's a wild ride. It's a wild
Yeah, I should have had you talk. I should have had you talk to Laban Marsh, because
Yeah. He's
that's
been
his
through it.
specialty with
Yeah.
real estate, and he can talk you through all the all those processes,
Yeah. I
because
mean,
he
Destined to Evolve Wellness was
yeah,
easy. It's an online virtual
yeah,
business, right?
yeah.
Like that was pretty easy to get things signed up, and I just need my computer and
Yeah, it's your baby, and you run it yourself,
yeah.
and you put together your schedule. You
Yeah.
can work with as many clients as you want or as little clients as you want.
Although
And
on that note, I will say the being an entrepreneur or even solopreneur that I am in the Destined to Evolve Wellness realm is I love seeing my clients, right? Like I want to do that all day long. However, I also need to be the marketing, social media, like all of those things are very time consuming.
yes, they are.
I'm helping with both businesses, so that it's tough, but we're making it work, Steve. When you have a passion and a drive, you just make it happen.
Well, Bethany, when you're an Olympian, I'm pretty sure you can make anything work. But no,
So we
I
have this business mentor that we're working with, and we after a few phone calls, I'm some of the things that I have to work on, I was messaging him and emailing him about some things, and I was like, I'm having a really hard time keeping this simple. It's just not who I am. And he goes, tell me you're an Olympian without telling me you're an Olympian. Just overcomplicating everything. There's just
Bethany, your first call should be to me. Don't call any business mentors. Call me. I can easily direct you and make it simplified and get you
okay.
feeling more comfortable doing it. I'm doing it with Razul Wallace right now and his fundraising dinner at the Swift Factory. I'm doing all his social media marketing. Like I said, we're doing the radio live reads with Joe D'Ambrosia, who's the voice of the Huskies.
That's awesome.
Um, he was great to do that for free. I'm getting the university involved. So there's several elements to marketing that people
Yeah.
don't necessarily understand and people don't necessarily want to utilize. And I told Razul, I said, we have to do social media. There, there's
Yeah.
no, there's no way around it. I will take care of social media. I can handle it. I'll boost posts. It's important to put as much content up as we can daily.
Yeah.
I need a video from you and your partner, so I can use that as a reel and run it as an ad. I can run it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all very successful. And I said I'll pay for it. I'll take care of it, because it's a cause I believe in,
Yeah.
and
No,
they
it
need
sounds
to
like a great fundraiser.
yeah, yeah. And I told him I want him, the biggest thing for him, it's an awareness play. And I said, Razul, I said, I have no problem paying for this. I need you to trust me and spend your money on doing some SEO and doing some Google ads,
Yeah.
Google AdWords. That's where you will be successful. That's where I can guarantee that you will see results.
Yeah.
Because Google ads, you buy certain keywords. Um,
Right.
you know,
We're learning all
hamburger
about
dinner.
this stuff.
Yeah,
It's a learning curve.
yeah, but like, even you, like, training, body fit,
Yeah.
health, wellness, you can buy those words and you can target Franklin Village or Franklin or a certain area, and it's so targeted, and that's why it's successful.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty fascinating what they can do with
it's scary.
marketing. The geo tracking, I had
Yeah,
no idea about
the
that.
geofencing is scary.
Oh,
Yeah,
geofencing. Yeah, that's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
It's kind of scary when they say, when you feel like people are listening, right? Like
yeah.
you mention something and then you start popping up ads on your phone. Like
That's what happens.
they're tracking you everywhere. It's wild.
That's what happens. That if you have the notifications on in your phone for your
Yeah,
location settings, you're
most
pretty
people
much
do.
you're pretty much screwed. So yeah, so I was just telling Razul, I said, I need you to do the Google ads. You can buy a few keywords. We'll just focus on Hartford.
Yeah,
And if you can give me $2,500, I can promise you will make that back and then some,
yeah,
because he's got a great contingency of people who are supporting and are coming to the event. And I said, you will make it back. Like,
yeah.
you're not going to take a loss. There's no way in
Right,
hell
right.
it's going to happen. If you can give me that, I will do the social media. If you trust me with this and you do SEO and some Google ads, Bill, who I had you talk to, Bill's going to create a banner ad for him,
Oh,
and
awesome. Yeah,
the
Bill's a
ban-
great guy.
the banner ad will come up whenever you search those words.
Yeah,
And if you're in the area, and if you're in the demographic, and if you're in the household income range and have
yeah.
the interest, the banner ad comes up. You click on the banner ad, it takes you directly to Eventbrite where you can purchase the tickets.
Oh,
I,
perfect.
I said that's the most efficient,
Yeah,
easiest way to do it.
yeah.
So I think that's what he's going to go with.
Awesome.
Um, you have a commenter, Shipat Chic, who says, you're an amazing podcast host. So
Well, is
you
he
got
talking
that.
about me or you? Because you are
He's
the
probably talking about me, but
you.
I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that.
Thank you for
So
giving me the credit.
yes,
Appreciate that.
I try to be a gentleman. But I mean, with everything you have going on between, your own business, Destined to Evolve Wellness, getting BFT open in Franklin Village, and the weather becoming warmer, seasons changing,
Loving it.
and there's a lot that has to be done as far as spring cleaning goes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that I probably can say I know anyone who looks forward to spring cleaning, but just how do you typically manage it on normal years when you were running your own business, and how do you think it will differ this year when you're going to be running two of them?
Yeah, I mean, I love springtime. I think everybody, you can just see. I don't know how the weather is up your end, but we've had like a little sprinkle of some
Yeah,
warm days, and people are just starting to come out of the woodwork. And even, in social media, I'm noticing all like local businesses, people are starting to do a few more things and like really picking up some momentum. So I think it's a great time of year to do some resetting. And every year I'm a hibernator. I've decided. I realize like in the wintertime, it is just not my most productive time.
it's nobody's. Hibernate,
Right?
watch Netflix.
Yeah.
You need to do.
So I've had to really push through because there's too much to be done to like sit and do nothing. But I definitely can feel that shift. I don't know if you feel that shift this time of year where it's like I feel like I come alive a little bit more and things don't feel so
Yeah.
hard. And I just think it's like kind of like New Year's. It's a good time to just kind of reset, reflect
Yep.
on kind of things that are working, things that are not working. Um, it's definitely, I think every year I sort of have to in a different way, right? You know, we've got things look different this year with both businesses, the kids and their activities, and things shift from year to year. So I think part of being able to, you know, live a lifestyle that is flexible and adaptable can help in these times. So you're not kind of feeling still stuck, if that makes sense.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know,
Because
a lot of
that's the worst
people,
thing you can do is be stagnant and get in a rut because
yeah,
it's
or
very,
either
very difficult
stuck
to
or
get out.
trying to it's like fitting a what is it? Fitting a square peg in a round
Square peg
hole,
in the round hole thing, yeah.
right? Like we're leaning a lot more into I love to grill. I like to well, I shouldn't say I love to make dinner, but I don't mind it. Like I really do enjoy I love
Well,
grocery
you
shopping.
do a lot of meal prep too, you said.
I actually don't do a ton of meal prep.
Oh,
I
okay.
do more grocery prep.
Oh, okay. Got
And I
you.
actually love grocery shopping, which I think is
Wow. That's
yeah.
I
I'm
love
not
grocery
sure.
shopping too. I was the
Are
only
you
one.
being facetious?
No, I did. I Market 32 in Grafton was my favorite place ever.
Really?
I could live in Market 32.
So
I
I've never been into Market 32 and I grew up in Grafton.
Yes, I know.
I don't think Market 32 is there.
Really?
No, where is
Okay.
it even?
It was God, it was right off 146 where I would take a left to go into Grafton. Um it had
Maybe
a
it's there and I just never maybe it's on a different side of town than I was in.
maybe it was by a Chipotle. I think it was by the
We definitely
Chipotle
didn't have
over
a
there.
Chipotle when I was
Okay, I'm gonna check because that was my favorite place. If that closed down, I
but
mean,
I do. I love grocery shopping. So I come from like a grocery prep standpoint. I
right.
typically just I we have standard proteins that I know everyone will eat. We have fruits and vegetables that I know everyone will eat, and they shift seasonally, I tend to find, right? We were, like, in a huge clementine
Yes,
phase,
I saw
which
that.
they're not so great. They're getting a little bit less, but we're getting, you know, back into more, seasonal things, and I love grocery shopping to just have my house prepped, my freezer
Yeah.
stocked, fridge
Yes.
stocked, pantry stocked, but a little bit because life's been so busy, leaning more into the Trader Joe's pre-prepped, like frozen stuff. That I can, you know, they've got this great like
It's
teriyaki
very good.
chicken. It's
Oh,
not
I've had it before.
bad, right?
Chicken.
Like for a quick 5-minute reheat, I'll like make a big
Yeah,
batch of rice at the beginning of the week.
exactly.
And then we just have some quick, easy reheat proteins to put alongside it and cut up some bell peppers and we have a meal. So I have been having to shift and instead of like making these homemade meals every night and grilling out and doing all the things, a lot of times we're like leaning into these easy prep meals. So I think being able to have that flexibility to figure out what's going to
Yeah.
work for which phase you're in is important to be able to do.
The Market 32 is in Sutton. I apologize, not Grafton.
That makes sense to me now because I was like, well,
Yeah.
and again, I don't know how long it's been in Sutton either.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But
it
I'm not
was
familiar with Market 32.
well, how oh, yeah, you're further away from Sutton, right?
Well, I was on the North Grafton side, so we were closer
Yeah.
to Shrewsbury.
Right, right. Okay. I would 100% recommend if you ever took a trip that way. Market 32 is the greatest grocery store I've ever been.
What was so great about it?
The food is all fresh. They have everything. The people there are very, very nice. The prices are reasonable. Things are not difficult to find. I always had just a great experience going there
Ooh,
compared to
from
like
ever driving through Sutton. I'll make sure I stop there.
Well, you don't go on 146, right?
No, I'm not really out that way much at
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
anymore.
Um, I want I had wanted to ask about your children. Have they started or I don't know if it ever stopped, but the Ninja Warrior thing,
It never stops, Steve.
it
It
never
never
stops. It's not 12 months out of the year. Is it 12 months out of the year?
It is. They have like a 2-week break
2 weeks.
after they have like little breaks throughout the year. Like over the holidays at Christmas time, I think there's a week that they're closed. At the end of the school year, they're closed for a couple of weeks. And we certainly like will take a week off when we go on vacations and things like that. But for the most part, it's year round.
Jesus.
For him, he's on team.
Is it
Taylor does
tournaments
more
too?
school year.
Yeah.
So
Going
she'll
away on tournaments, do you do?
Yep, he's got comps every few weekends that we sign him up for. He's training he qualified for regionals in 2 different leagues. We're just focusing on one league officially, that he'll do regionals coming up. Gosh, when is that? Wow, it might be even in May.
Oh,
And we'll
that's gonna be hectic.
May is going to be a busy month, Steve, but we're going for it.
Oh,
There's nothing you can do. Like you just have to do it.
you'll be fine. There's nothing you can't handle. Have you made a decision about I'm sure you're taking applications. Will you start interviewing for staff within the next month or two?
Oh yeah, very soon. Actually,
Okay,
I
good.
think we're posting today or tomorrow, looking for coaches, get our coaching
Mm,
roster set up. So any certified personal trainers out there, anybody who wants to or get
yeah,
certified, another certification,
yeah.
where's the interview process?
And will they teach 1 or 2 classes a day? Is that how it works, or is it
It's
4
going to depend on schedules. A lot of trainers are probably working at other places as well. So depending on what people's schedules are and how we can fit people in, it's going to be like a big jigsaw puzzle.
Will you be able to charge like a premium if obviously someone wants to have you as their coach or be
So
in
it's
a
going to be group. It'll be group fitness
yeah,
classes.
right.
Yeah. So what the membership's the membership.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
won't
it'll
charge
be-
anyone extra
yeah,
for
no, 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 no. It's month to month.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
month to month.
charge I would charge extra to have you as my coach.
Thanks, Steve. I
You're,
appreciate that.
you're missing out on that. You get a few extra dollars from it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
so they do the Ninja Warrior all year round. And do they play other spring sports that they
We've
like?
got my son has soccer starting
Oh, he
soon.
does.
Yeah.
Soccer's a spring sport out there?
We do fall and spring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a lot of kids double with like baseball and soccer. So in 5th grade, it's not like you're playing like when they go to middle school, like you have a middle school team and a high school team. It's
Yeah,
still town
like a
based.
rec league, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they have spring and fall. So we're starting spring season soon, and so he doesn't do baseball, but he'll do the ninja. So yeah, spring schedule starts to get busy, and like we just, you just find out this past week what your spring schedule is for those sports. So you have to totally
Oh,
revamp
yeah.
your schedule.
They just throw it at you.
Because practices, he's got a Monday and a Thursday practice from 6 to 7. So now I have to really balance like, okay, what does dinner look like on those nights when we're driving to practice at 5:45 and he's not home till 7:15 and we have an 8 o'clock bedtime because he has to be up for school at 6:15 the next day. So you got to
Wow.
get creative.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
an 8 o'clock bedtime. That's definitely early.
Yeah.
Earlier than I would have expected. But they get out of school there, right? In May? They're out
Oh
earlier?
no. End of
Oh, they go
June.
to June. They go to the end of June there too?
Yeah, regular public schools are late August to June.
Mm.
Unless you're like private school or college,
Right,
you're
where it
shorter
understands.
year, but yeah, no, it's a full we've got a ways to go.
Yeah.
We got all of April, all of May, and I think we had one snow day, so I think we're on to June 20th or June 23rd or something, which is a Monday.
Right.
But it's all good.
How do you because a couple people had asked this, how do you think you will manage your kids with school, with your responsibilities, obviously being a business owner, two of them, and you also have two kids, and they're going to be requiring sports and schoolwork. How do you see yourself being able to manage that?
It will be an interesting process because we don't know what things are going to look like once we're open. I think we will I think I mentioned this in the last podcast. We're doing a lot of the work ourselves right now, leading up through pre-sale to opening, but we will be hiring staff. And I think, we'll just do our best to figure out what that looks like for those hours, between school and then after school. Like the afternoons are definitely going to be a challenge, but we should have staff in there that are coaching those afternoon classes. I feel like my kids also are at a pretty good age right now at 8 and 10. Like they can fend for themselves. And I've really worked hard because kids are so capable. We don't give our kids enough credit. I think sometimes, because they really, like, my kids pack their own lunches, they pack their own snacks within reason. Like, I definitely have had to intervene a few times, like, okay, how can we make this a little more balanced? When my son, especially, because he's a little bit more of my pickier eater. So when he packs there was a few months there where I wasn't really paying attention to what he was packing, but I started to notice some shifts in his behaviors, and he was like cranky and irritable and then like not eating at certain times. And I was like, what is happening? So we kind of looked at, like, okay, what are you packing for snacks? What are you packing for lunch? And as we kind of broke all the things down and looked, I was like, okay, you're living solely on carbohydrates. And for a kid who burns so much energy so fast, I'm like, you don't need quick burning fuel. You need longer burning fuel. Like, let's mix in a couple of things here that will sustain you a little bit longer. So I do step in when I need to, but they can pack their own snacks and lunches. We've got a pretty good system when they come home. My son, who's in 5th grade, I let him manage when his homework gets done within reason. We've set some boundaries around, like, has to be done before sports, is not going to be worked on in the morning before school, because we start school so early for upper elementary. So we've really worked to establish some good habits in our days that I think will really help us to be able to function as we go through this really busy time. Some of those things may need to shift a little bit, but we've got some really good foundational basics, I think, that will sustain us through the busiest, craziest moments.
We had a question from Alyssa from Shrewsbury, who wanted to know your hours will be during the week and weekends at BFT once it opens.
We are open 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
So our schedule isn't set in place yet, but we'll have super early morning classes, the 5 or 5:30 a.m., a sprinkle in the morning, like at 9 a.m. and noon, and then later afternoon, evening classes, anywhere probably between 4:30 and 5 to 6:30 or so.
Right, because
weekends will be like that morning.
Yeah.
Time slots. Yeah.
Because I know I asked you this last week. Somebody else asked. This isn't a gym where, like, you go, you swipe your card, you check in, and you can just go lift weights.
No,
it's all class work, right?
There's an app. You register for class.
Yeah.
It's all 50. I feel like that sounds like 15 sometimes. 50-minute group strength and conditioning classes.
That was the other class. How long were the classes? So they're 50 minutes. Okay.
50 minutes, and you sign up ahead of time. So it's helpful to know who we have coming and how many people to know how, because we do have multiple coaches per class depending on class size. So
do you have a cancellation policy if, someone cancels within like 12 hours or 5 hours?
We do, but I can't remember what it is right now.
No, make sure you do that for sure.
Well, yeah, we do have one. And once we're open and booking classes, I'll know what it is. Right now, we're so in the thick of pre-sale. I'm not building. I'm working on a fundraiser, my very first ever fundraiser.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I have another woman who's actually done some fundraising before, so she knows. She's really steering the ship. She works with the Franklin area moms group. And so we're joining forces to support. There's a new children's museum opening in Franklin.
Oh, that's
That these
great.
two moms have joined forces to build this amazing children's museum, and they've done a tremendous job. They're actually opening sometime in May-ish, I think, also. So we're trying to put together a fundraiser to support their efforts, which is really exciting.
I definitely have to put you in touch with Razul. I was telling him about you and the business that you're opening. Razul is starting his own commercial real estate company,
Oh, wow.
but their main focus is trying to better the community. They want to
Yeah.
bring businesses that are going to help the community. They want to decrease the carbon footprint, whatever the hell that is. He's very conscientious about, they want to make the community better, and they want people to succeed. So, I was telling him about your business, and they have some properties, and I know obviously not now, but if you ever wanted to expand, he's this fundraiser is basically to raise capital for the House of Changes, but also, hopefully to have some money for the real estate business. He's always looking for deals to buy and sell property, and I think that would be something great that could fit for where he is now. He's down in Norwich, which is a little further away.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a big fan of CrossFit. So
He was not a big fan.
No, he did the same thing. He just kind of thought it was a cult, but
they have done community very well. People definitely
yes
feel like it's a cult,
yes.
but they've definitely done a great job in terms of that community.
Yes,
building.
they love it. They believe in it. They work hard. Everything like it.
Yeah.
So I thought that your business and your system could possibly work for what they're trying to do.
There's a BFT in Westport, Connecticut. I know that's not near Norwich, but and I don't know if they have plans to open future ones, but
right.
They I think they're doing pretty well. They've only been open, a little over a year. I think they opened.
So tell me about your fundraiser. When exactly is that scheduled for?
We're working out the details. It's going to be early May, probably the first weekend in May. Where we were debating on, weather around here in Massachusetts, as you know, up where you are too, is so tenuous this time of year. It's so hard to know. And so we're probably going to utilize, there's an indoor turf space at this group called Downtown Sports. They have this gigantic turf.
Is that in Rhode Island?
No, it's in Franklin.
Oh, it's in Franklin. Okay.
Yep. This guy, Rich, who owns it, great guy. I met with him a few weeks ago because we're doing some community workouts as well. So we had looked at that space. We haven't utilized it yet, but I think for this fundraiser, it'll be perfect. We were looking at some of the outdoor fields.
That's great.
But we can't afford a rain date that time of year. Like Mother's Day is the next weekend. And then you've got graduations and stuff. Like it's too crazy to have to reschedule something. So I think we're going to vote for an indoor space.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's the best way to go, and you'll get more out of it. Is the fundraiser, is it like more of a public workout you're doing? So
it's going to be, it'll be just a huge fitness event.
That's great.
Yeah. It'll be a huge community fitness event. Yep. We'll have some different sponsors and things like that, and just run a huge community workout in support of the Children's Museum.
That's huge. I think that'll make a huge difference when people get to see you in action, see everything you're doing.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because obviously that type of workout will not emulate what we do at Body Fit Training. So we always try to clarify that
you won't have the same tools and equipment, I'm sure, right?
Correct. It'll look a lot different, but the point of it really is to bring people together and rally around the efforts of the Children's Museum, which I think will be a great asset to the town.
Yeah.
And a big draw to the town for folks. And they've done a tremendous job of planning this whole Children's Museum and all the different displays and everything, and be very inclusive. And they've thought of everything. It's really very cool.
Is your twin sister going to be involved in BFT?
No, she's a few towns over and she's super busy. She's a personal chef.
Right.
She cooks for people. So she's got a pretty busy schedule. So and it's too far of a drive for her to come train there. Plus she has a fitness studio literally 2 minutes from her house. And she coaches there. She was a rower at UConn.
Yes.
And she still rows. She did the Head of the Charles last year. I want to have her on.
I would love for you to have her on.
We're going to have her on soon. We just have to coordinate schedules.
You can have her on whenever you want. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. I'll give you $100 if you can get Lissa Bloom to come on.
I've tried a couple times. I will keep trying. Hilarious. I tried to tell her, like, it's really not, it's kind of fun. Like, we reminisce and we just have a chat. Like, we just have a fun conversation.
Yeah, she's mortified. She thinks she's going to be on ESPN.
Well, it's not for podcasting. It's not for everybody. But I think once you can just do it.
Yeah.
I was terrified when we first started doing these.
No, you were fine. I didn't.
Well, it ended up being once I do.
I mean, I was more terrified than you were. Let's put it that way.
I know you were scared of me. I still think that's hilarious. But I definitely, believe it or not, I have some level of social anxiety. Putting myself out in the community, speaking and that kind of stuff is really scary. Yeah. But I always try to remind myself that once I do it, or even just get started, it's fine. And it's just conversation and you're just chatting with people. And it's not as scary as it feels.
Exactly.
As our brains.
We had a couple people who asked, how will your schedule fit with obviously Destined to Evolve Wellness and BFT? Will it be a situation where you'll have appointments spread out throughout the day for Destined to Evolve Wellness, or will you set appointments just at specific times, either in the morning and in the afternoon? How do you think that will work out for you?
Yeah, so I've been protecting my Destined to Evolve Wellness schedule. I'll keep those times, and I'm, for BFT, I will coach some, but I won't be on the schedule officially, especially mornings and afternoons, just because life is crazy. But yeah, I've been protecting my time that I do my Destined to Evolve Wellness work, and I'll continue to see my clients and book new clients into those slots.
Will you also be working weekends, especially when the summer starts at BFT? Will you get some time?
I'm not sure how that's going to look. It's all a lot up in the air, Steve.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm putting you on.
I would like to, I think Tom and I and Carrie and Pat we want to be involved in it as much as we can.
Yeah, you love it. It's your passion project.
Yeah, and it's our little baby that we're growing and nurturing and building. So we want our members to know us and know who we are and the culture that we're building, and
that's so important.
It's so important. I think community is one of the biggest things we want to foster in the work that we do alongside. I mean, we just know that fitness is so important in living a healthy, sustainable life. So to be able to offer people in community, I think as we head into spring and people are coming out of the woodwork and getting out more and seeing each other, we just know everybody feels better when they're around people. And I think that, to not only be able to help people in the fitness realm, but also to find a community that supports them and is inclusive and encouraging and supportive what more could you ask for?
That's everything. When you have a community that's supportive, inclusive, and really is behind you all the way, pushing you to succeed, that makes all the difference in the world. because
Yeah.
you know that you're not at it alone. You
Exactly.
know that you have a group that's cheering you on and is going to do everything possible to help you succeed and help
Exactly.
you reach those goals. Um,
Well, because let's be
another,
honest. I mean, fitness is not top on everyone's list, right? Like people really struggle to work
well,
out
I think it's
and move their bodies.
I think it's insecurity too. A lot of it because people don't like to work out in front of other people, or could be
Yeah,
afraid of how they'll
right.
look.
The group model's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But
I think the group model will be good. I think the group
oh
model.
yeah, no, I think it's a great. As much as I do love my one-on-ones, and that works great for my people who want to be in their home doing virtuals, and then there are people who the community is important to them. They maybe don't love fitness, but can maybe get them out the door and into a place that they can work on their fitness. Because fitness is hard. I was just having this conversation with some of the folks I work with, because when you're working out, we know to get stronger and fitter, you have to make it harder,
Yes. Yeah.
right? And when it's too easy, you're like, congratulations, you get to add more weight. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
feel hard again.
Yeah.
People, they don't want it to the
The
hard
comforts want
all
to
the
push you.
time is tough to work through for some people who don't love it.
Yes.
And so you have to have that, I think, community and support around you to get you through those doors for some people who are just getting started.
Now, is your husband big into fitness as well? Because I know you mentioned he worked a corporate job, so I wasn't sure.
He does
Is
work a corporate job, but he's been into fitness. I think it was not until he was in college
okay.
that he really got into like going to the gym and working out. We met at a CrossFit. He started at the CrossFit in Needham, the one that I had been going to,
So,
and that's where we met. And fitness has always since then been a really, important piece for him to still try to get there 4 or 5 days a week to work out.
and are you guys able to go together, or it kind of has to be separate? No, you can't go together.
We used to go all the time together before we had children.
Yes. Yeah. Those damn children, boy, they change.
Yeah, life changes. You've got to evolve, Steve. We are
Yeah.
all destined to evolve, and you
Yeah.
have to evolve. And things shift, right? Like even the dynamic of relationships and marriages shift with partners.
Tremendously.
And I think again, it all goes back to flexibility, which is really hard because when life is stressful, we all get more rigid. And so I think having that flexibility to shift along with life is really important, because sometimes hanging on to what was keeps you stuck.
It does. It keeps you stagnated. You don't make that progress. And
Right.
like you said, any type of relationship, marriage or whatnot, it's a give and take. And you're going to sacrifice one way or another. You have to
Yeah.
make sacrifices for your partner. You have to make sacrifices for your kid. And you have to believe in that. Otherwise, somebody's going to be disgruntled
Yeah.
and feel like they're sharing, they're doing the brunt of the work.
Yeah.
They're trying the hardest. They're not meeting you halfway. I'm the only one working at this.
Yeah.
And you're just,
But that's where it's communication, and I
Yeah.
think keeping boundaries. There's a lot I know
The
with
boundaries.
mom guilt, right? Because to your point, I think we feel like we have to give all the time, and we forget to maintain something for our own
Yeah.
selves because we feel guilty doing that, because we feel like we have to sacrifice all the time for everyone else. But I think it's really important to remember that yes, there is going to be some sacrifice, and we have to kind of bend and flex within the relationship of that whole family dynamic. But I think it's also important to remember that it's okay to hold boundaries. Like my daughter, she's 8. She'd climb back in the womb if she could. She like is mommy's girl all day long, which I love, but it's a lot.
Yes.
And I went to Lake Placid last weekend to watch the bobsled world
Yes,
championship.
that's
I made
right.
it happen. I made it happen. I last minute took my trip, and she was really upset that I was leaving and not taking her. Or
Oh, wow.
in her mind, she felt that that bobsledding was more important than her.
Than her, right.
Right. But and it's hard for an 8-year-old brain, right?
To
But I'm gonna sit
understand
down
that.
with her to say, like, listen, this is how mommy supports you, right? I help with homework. I help with getting her to ninja every week, which is a battle sometimes because her anxiety gets in the way. And so talking to her about all the ways that I do support her and spend time with her, and to then say, you know what, this is really important to mommy.
Yeah.
And this is, a trip that mommy wants to go by herself, to see people that I used to train with and compete with,
Well
and enjoy
deserved.
that time with them. And it was hard, and there was definitely some guilt that I felt, but on the other side of the guilt, I wanted to honor that this felt important to me, and I
Yeah,
want her looking through the lens too of what do I want her, the choices she makes when she gets older, right?
absolutely.
So if
Ab-
I had bent and been like, okay, it's all about you, I won't go on my trip, I'll cancel it, then that's the model she has. So I really work hard to model that boundary of, this is important to me. I'm going to honor this. I know you're not happy about it and you don't have to be. You can have your feelings, but this is important to me. And so I'm going to make this happen. And it's always okay, right? Like, she was fine. She had a great time with Tom and Riker, and they had a fabulous weekend. Um, but I think holding those boundaries and not always sacrificing is important too.
yeah, because the last thing you want is that codependency that
Right.
lasts forever. You don't want them to be codependent. You want them to be able to live independently. You don't want their happiness to be dependent on, always spending time with you, always doing things with you. You want
Or always sacrificing for everyone else too,
yeah,
right? Because
yes,
that's the model they have.
yes,
So
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, you have to give so much of yourself, and for you, just I mean, because it wasn't a full weekend, right? What it was one
It was
night.
just Friday to Saturday. Well,
Yeah,
and even too with the businesses, right? Like, Tom and I work a lot of hours, and the kids don't
yeah,
always understand that. Riker's a little more flexible. But Shaler will say, but you're always on the phone, you're always doing this. And I do have to catch myself, like, okay, I need to put the work down. I have to be mindful. So it's great she calls me out on it, because there are times I'm like, okay, you're right. I've just been sitting at my desk for 10 hours today. I gotta just shut it down and be done with it. But to also have them understand the reasons why we do what we do, like why
yeah,
we work so hard,
yeah,
and how passionate we are
yeah.
about the work that we're doing and why we do it. And also to live financially stable lives so that we can do the things that we choose to do,
Exactly.
and have our beautiful home and our chickens and our bunnies and all the things.
Jill had wanted to know how sales had been going, because I know that you started off, you were doing very, very well. Have they been steadily increasing?
Yeah.
You want them to be great. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. No, we're doing great. We're almost at, I think, over 85 members in pre-sale, which
Beautiful.
I have to say, I think is incredible. We started pre-sale in January.
January, yeah.
And given the fact that we are marketing something that's not open yet,
That people
there's
don't know about. Yeah.
nobody knows about Body Fit Training. They've not heard of this brand before. So we've got a lot of hurdles to overcome in terms of that. But I think, Kerry, who's doing a lot of the membership sales, and I've been helping alongside some, we're just having conversations with people about what their fitness goals are, what they're working towards in their life, the kind of lifestyle that they want to have, and if Body Fit's a good training, or if Body Fit training is a good fit for them. And it is or it isn't, and it's just conversations. We're not like out
And
there
that's
doing hard
huge.
sells, and so it's been going really well.
And that's
I'm
huge.
pleasantly surprised, considering that we do not have an open studio as of yet to show anybody.
No, I think because the way that you're operating, listening is so much more important, because everyone talks, nobody really listens. And the fact that you're listening, you're asking questions, you're taking a vested interest
Right.
in their goals, in what they want to do.
Right. Right. It's so
That stands out
Yeah.
because I don't think the guy at Planet Fitness is doing that.
No,
So
probably not.
that's why I think it's huge that you're going that extra mile, and it's going to make a difference, and you're going to see it, especially in year one. I think that having 85 memberships in March, I think is phenomenal, and I think it's only going to grow stronger. And I think that the most important thing is you guys are going to be so happy with what you're doing.
Yeah,
You're gonna get up to work. You're gonna get up to go to work every day, and you're gonna be excited.
exactly.
You're gonna know everyone, and you're gonna love being there.
Yep.
And that's not a job.
Yeah,
That makes it
exactly.
not a
Yep.
job.
You're right. You're right.
And that's what everyone shoots for. And the other thing is, you're a Bethany Hart Gary. You're a name.
Thank
You're a name.
I don't know
You're
that I'm the name around here, but
Yeah, you are. You are. You're you're
back
you're
in
you're a
my
name.
day, back in my day.
You're a name. You're a local legend. I think people see that and just subconsciously think that's something they want to be associated with. So I think for sure you're doing everything right.
Well, thank you.
I think that you've come a long way from where this was kind of a discussion and a pipe dream, and
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
you've made it a
wild to see it.
reality.
Yeah, it's really wild to see it actually like happening. It's crazy.
You've made it a reality, and I am excited for you. I hope that you're able to definitely manage everything in the spring when things become hectic. And I think you have, between your sister and your family, you have enough support to where you'll get the help if
Yeah.
you need
And
it.
I think of life, and not only for me, but when I work with clients, I think of life like athletes, right? You weren't in season all year, right?
Correct.
In your competitive season, right? You'd have an off season, you'd have a preseason, an in season, and a post season. And life is very similar whether you're an athlete or not, right? And
Exactly.
so I feel like we were kind of in like a preseason, and we're
Yep.
working into this in season, and life's going to get crazy and it's going to be hectic. But I think part of it is setting the expectation that life's going to be crazy, knowing we're going to be in survival mode for a period of time. My thing is you shouldn't live in survival mode all the time, right? So how can
No,
we get you
no.
out of survival mode and finding a sustainable way to have a balanced lifestyle that supports you most of the time so that when you do have survival mode, so I would love to think that all of the habits we have built into our world up until this point will serve us well enough through this crazy time that we are probably going to be hanging on by the skin of our teeth, but we know we're going to be okay on the other side of it. We just have to get through
Yeah.
it, right? We're not going to, but we haven't run ourselves into the ground
No, you've been very smart
and
with
burnt
how
ourselves out,
you've done
right?
things.
So
Yeah.
that's the difference for me in helping. That's why I'm so passionate about the Destined to Evolve wellness work, is to really help people build these lifestyles that carry them through the in-season intense times so that when you go into your off season, you don't crash and burn.
And Bethany, to be perfectly honest, I don't think that you would ever crash and burn. I think that you would operate at
Oh,
an optimal level.
and the only reason I won't, Steve, is because I did.
I know from your
And
past
so I
experience.
learned.
You've learned
I've
from it.
learned.
But that's why I think that you will thrive in
Yeah.
chaos and under pressure. I think you'll be
Well,
fine.
I never want to feel that way again.
And you won't.
Right. Which is
You,
why I'm so
you'll never
passionate
have
about
to.
the work that I do, because I don't wish that hell upon anyone, because crashing and burning is a bad place to be. And we don't have to. I think there's a way, to shift our mindset, to develop a sustainable lifestyle that can help us function even in the worst times.
Right. So, just this upcoming week, is there anything specific, anything special going on with you and your family, you and your kids this week that you can think of?
We're going to, well, I don't know if you would consider it special, but we're doing a family night tonight at the middle school production of Grease.
Oh, I love Greece.
Who
Olivia
doesn't?
Newton-John, man, she had it going on back in the
I'm
day.
so excited for my kids to see this play because I think they're still a little young to see the movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there's like
they're probably a
abortion
little young.
and
They're
smoking.
probably a little young to see them.
They're a little young, but the songs are so good. So I'm really excited for them to see this production of Grease. My in-laws are coming into town next week, and we're
Oh, that's
wrapping up
great.
like indoor soccer's wrapping up. Raker's got a ninja comp. We've got our next fitness community workout next Sunday. I'm
Oh,
going to
that's
be at the
great.
local juice bar tomorrow with a table answering questions and getting to meet local people. So we've got a busy week ahead, but it's all
That's
good. I'm telling you, this weather like makes me come alive. I'm like
Yeah, it
feel
does. I can see you're definitely glowing.
I've
Um,
planted some things in the garden. I've got little lettuces coming up and arugula. Oh,
one of the movies that I definitely saw too young was Dirty Dancing.
oh,
I was,
another epic movie.
it was epic. I was quite confused at a few
Yeah,
points, but
there are definitely some.
other than that, I thought it was good. I'll admit
Yeah,
I thought it was good.
yeah,
Well, it's good. I mean, you have a fun upcoming week.
we do.
Everything is going well with BFT in Franklin Village. So that's exciting to hear. The 85 members, I'm sure that's going to continue to grow. And hopefully, you will be open by the end of spring. And I think once that's off the table, once you finally open the doors, it may be chaotic to start, but I think you'll definitely relax into a routine
Yeah,
and it'll take a lot of the pressure off.
yeah.
It really will.
Well, it'll just be a completely separate routine than
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
building, like getting this up and running with all of the marketing and pre-sale. So we're looking forward to opening our doors. We are still on target for late spring opening, so
Right.
just keep moving forward.
All right. Well, I just have to mention another sponsor, Ned Von Young, Fresh himself. He has Fresh Fold Laundry Company in Carborough, North Carolina. They are an incredible laundromat with many top of the line amenities, such as you can book and schedule your washer or dryer online ahead of time. You can have a subscription model, weekly or bi weekly, to do your laundry. And they wash, dry, fold your clothes at land speed records. Ned Von is done an outstanding job. They opened in January. They're just outside of Chapel Hill. Any college students, University of North Carolina, Duke University, University of North Carolina Central, they have amazing specials and deals for you guys to come in and actually have clean clothes, unlike myself, who had a pile on his dorm room floor for about 6 months. So go do your laundry. Go do your laundry. It'll be for free, and it's a great opportunity. And then I also mentioned Razul Wallace. Razul Wallace and his partner Ja. I'm not going to try to say his last name. I've said it wrong. Like shows I've done. Ja
Exactly.
is great. They are having a fundraising dinner April 19th at the Swift Factory in Hartford. It's at 6 p.m. And it's for a great cause. It's for the House of Changes. The House of Changes has helped men who have been incarcerated, who are recovering from drug addiction, who have been homeless. And Razul has gone all out. He's hired a case manager. He's hired a social worker. He has mental health services. He's doing everything possible, and they can stay up to 2 years. He wants to help them succeed and rebuild their lives and integrate them back into society, which I think is such a noble cause. And even better, uh, really, the only reason to go is because I'm going to be the keynote speaker. So
Of course.
there'll be nothing more entertaining than me getting up and talking for a half hour. So if you go, tickets can be purchased on Eventbrite, and they will be listed. I will put the website on our show notes. So for the great Bethany Hart Gary,
Thank you, Steve.
Olympian, Destined to Evolve Wellness, Body Fit Training. She's going to be running 2 businesses. And she's also a mother with 2 children who love doing the Ninja Warrior, which I think is great. So very exciting to hear. Very exciting. Everything's in bloom. A lot of things happening. A lot of progress is going to be made. Thrilled for you and your family and Carrie and her family. And I just think you're going to do great.
Thanks, Steve.
So yes. So best of luck, and we will talk again next week.
Sounds
So
good.
just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them right back at life.